Hello everyone, it's Friday, July 10th. I'm Stephanie Haney. Welcome back to 3 News Now for your afternoon update with our top headlines from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. We've just got the most up-to-date numbers in from the Ohio Department of Health, and they are high. We are seeing today the highest number of new daily reported cases that we have seen in Ohio to date since we first became aware of coronavirus being present here in Ohio all the way back on March 9th. We're also seeing deaths up and new hospitalization numbers way up from yesterday. Here are those numbers. The total number of new daily reported cases today is 1,525. Again, that is the highest number of new daily reported cases we have seen since we became aware of COVID-19 here in the state of Ohio, according to the numbers reported by the Ohio Department of Health. That brings the total number of cases that we have known of over that entire period of time to now 62,856. The Ohio Department of Health has now started reporting presumed recovered cases, and that number is now 43,435, which is holding steady at about 69%. So what that means is about 31% of the known cases of COVID-19 are active here in the state of Ohio right now. The total number of deaths related to COVID-19 is now 3,032. We breached that 3,000 mark for the first time yesterday with 26 new deaths reported today. That's up from yesterday when we saw 15 new deaths reported. Now, as you know, as we've been talking about these numbers, the number of new daily reported deaths really bounces around a lot. Just to give you an idea of where it's been this week, on Monday there were 16 new reported deaths. On Tuesday there were 43 new reported deaths. On Wednesday there were 21 new reported deaths. Yesterday, 15 new reported deaths. Today, we're back up to 26. So this is a number that we have not seen a lot of consistency in, but that total now is 3,032. The total number of hospitalizations related to COVID-19 is now at 8,701, and this number is up quite a bit since yesterday. There are 131 new reported hospitalizations today. That's up from 81 on Thursday. We also had a high number on Wednesday with 103. Now, if we go back to Tuesday, there were 134 new reported hospitalizations. All of those numbers to say right now, currently, there are 928 people who are currently hospitalized with COVID-19 in the state of Ohio. So if we take a look at the total number of hospitalizations that we've had, it's about 10.7% of the people who've been hospitalized with COVID-19 are currently hospitalized right now. If we look at the ICU numbers, the total number of people who have been admitted to the ICU with COVID-19 is now 2,161. Today we're seeing 15 new ICU admissions. This is actually down from yesterday when we saw 19 new ICU admissions. So this is the second day in a row that the number of new ICU admissions is down. The number of people who are currently in the ICU is now 289. So of those people who are currently hospitalized, which is 928, 289 of those people are in the ICU. So that's about a third. 31% of the people who are currently hospitalized are needing intensive care treatment at this time. Let's take a look at the national and the global numbers now. These come from Johns Hopkins University. The total number of cases now reported nationally across the U.S. is 3,140,948. That's an increase of just under 60,000 cases from yesterday. That's less new cases than we saw in the previous 24 hours. In terms of deaths, the total number of deaths in the U.S. is now at 133,542, and that's 819 new deaths since yesterday, and that's also down from the day before. And when we factor those numbers together, that brings us to a total death rate here in the U.S. of 4.3% right now when we look at the total number of deaths and the total known number of COVID-19 cases. Globally, we are sticking at those percentages that we've been seeing for a long time now. Globally, the U.S. has about 25% of the known cases and about 24% of the known deaths related to COVID-19. Now, there are a total of 337,075 known global cases of COVID-19, according to Johns Hopkins University. And the total number of deaths globally is now 556,211. That makes for a global death rate of 4.5%. Now let's talk about what's happening here in Northeast Ohio. As we talked about earlier this week, Put-In-Bay has a big plan for testing, and that is underway right now. Last week, the Put-In-Bay task force requested state and county officials to establish a COVID-19 testing facility on the island. A press release from that organization said that Put-In-Bay continues to hold the safety and the welfare of its visitors, employees, and residents at its highest priority. So it was Wednesday when Put-In-Bay officials announced that there would be large-scale voluntary testing, the goal to test everyone on South Bass Island, all of the employees and all of the people who are currently there. And they were hoping to have up to 1,000 testing kits available in order to make that happen. This is after we learned about an outbreak there when 8 people tested positive, and that was identified in the island from several weekends ago. So in response, the Island Chamber of Commerce requested that all visitors and residents do wear masks in public on Put-In-Bay, and Brad Olemacher, who is chairman of the task force, told 3 News that as of right now, the testing is underway and it's going quite well. They are not sure of the total number that will be tested. They do expect it to be more than 700, so somewhere between that 700 and 1,000 range. And Olemacher said this: visitors coming this weekend can be confident we are doing our best to keep everyone safe and ask that they do their part as well. This is as more counties in the state of Ohio have been increased as of yesterday to that level 3 red alert, which requires the masks. The counties that are now requiring that here in Northeast Ohio are Summit, Lorain, and Cuyahoga counties. Governor Mike DeWine does have a message for us, though. His latest message to the people of Ohio is that we should not live our lives in fear and that this won't last. Here's what he said. He said, what we should be is what Ohioans have always been, and that is optimistic about the future. In saying this, DeWine stressed the importance of wearing a mask when out in public, and then he went on to say this: we don't have to change everyone's behavior, but if we can get 75 to 80% of people who are actually out in public, who are interacting with other people, to wear a mask, we will beat this thing down. It will make a fundamental difference. Now, that's a little bit of a change from what he said on CNN on Tuesday night. He said that if we could get 80 to 85% of people to comply with the mask mandate, that we would be in good shape. Now he's bumped that down a little bit, saying 75 to 80% now. He did say that our daily actions do need to continue to follow the safety guidelines that we've all come to know as we continue to learn to live and fight COVID-19 here in Ohio. DeWine said, we're going to get out of this. There is sunlight out there. We are going towards it. We're going to make it. He also added that the medical advancements that have come in the past several months are helping Ohio and the nation get through the pandemic. Here's another quote from DeWine. Look what doctors know today. Look at their ability to treat people who are very, very, very sick. If it's today versus 3 months from now, you're better off 3 months from now. We are all in this together. We can get through it. Something that people are looking towards in order to help them get through this is the return of professional sports. We definitely don't know what that will look like for the NFL this year, but we do know this, that Cleveland Browns wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. has been ranked the 4th best receiver in the NFL. This is according to an ESPN poll. He is still considered one of the top players, even after a season that definitely didn't go the way he would have liked it to last year during his first year with the Browns. So this is according to a poll that was conducted by ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. The poll surveyed 50 league executives, coaches, scouts, players, and ranked the top 10 wide receivers in the NFL. Last year, his first year with the Browns, was Odell Beckham Jr.'s least productive season of his 6 seasons in the NFL. But even so, he's still ranked 4th in the poll, and multiple people voted him as the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. The article that goes along with the poll says that his rare gifts are still undeniable for some of those voters who put him at number 1, and said multiple coaches say he's still the only receiver who can do anything with his lower half as far as spinning defensive backs and creating space. One NFL offensive assistant coach told Fowler, who wrote the article and conducted the poll, run after catch, track the deep ball, run every route, blocking. He might be the most complete receiver. Odell Beckham Jr. was the 2014 NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, but last year for us with the Browns, he had 74 receptions for 1,035 yards and 4 touchdowns. And that is definitely not what he was looking to do. Those are his lowest stats for a single season out of his entire career, except for the year 2017 when he actually only played in 4 games. But we do need to keep in mind he did have a sports hernia injury throughout the season last year. Now he underwent surgery for that in the offseason. He's been training, he's been recovering. We saw him release an update video on Wednesday where he was looking good, he was looking strong. His sports therapist, Dr. Dave Hancock, had good things to say about his recovery. So, we'll assume for a moment that we will have an uninterrupted NFL season and things will go well. We will just live in that world for this moment. Hopefully OBJ is back to his old self with that blonde hair, and we see something that looks like a number 4 ranked wide receiver for the NFL. Speaking of the NFL, Joe Burrow, who is the brand new quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, has launched a hunger relief fund for Ohio families in need. He recently graduated from LSU. He was drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals, number 1 in the NFL draft this year. So now he has created the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund, and it's to help Ohio families in need near his hometown of Athens, Ohio. He is an Ohio guy. So he announced the partnership with the Athens County Food Pantry and the Foundation for Appalachian Ohio on Thursday. This is not the first time that Joe Burrow has made it known that hunger is something that's very important to him and he wants to work to fight that in parts of Ohio. He talked about poverty during his Heisman Trophy speech in 2019. And after that, hundreds of thousands of dollars were raised for the Athens County Food Pantry. Burrow said this regarding his new Hunger Relief Fund. He said, "This initiative was made possible through the generosity of people from all over the country and will have a tremendous effect on the food insecurity issues that many families face in Southeast Ohio." Great guy. Sounds like he's got his head in the right place. Look forward to seeing what comes from him for this initiative. Thank you, Joe Burrow, for standing up for your hometown and providing families in Southeast Ohio with much needed support. That's it for our 3 News Now afternoon update for Friday, July 10th. I will see you next at 5 p.m. on What's New. You can catch that on Channel 3, also on WKYC.com, in our WKYC app, and on YouTube. Of course, we'll have more for you in all of our shows tonight. What Matters Most at 6 p.m., Front Row at 7 p.m., What's Next at 11 p.m., and then in the morning, very early, with the Go team as well, which I will be sleeping for. That's okay though, because you early risers will definitely want to catch that. And then I'll see you back here on Monday at 11 a.m. with your next 3 News Now update. Everyone, have a great weekend. Enjoy this weather. Stay cool. Stay safe. Don't get too hot out there, but enjoy that sunshine. I'm Stephanie Haney. Have a great day.